I'm gonna tell all of you about the first time I went shirtless in like a very public setting. So for those who don't know, my name is MJ. I'm a trans man. I have had top surgery. I know my results are kind of unconventional. A lot of trans men don't choose to leave fat in their chest, but I did. Before I got top surgery, I spent time researching, what I wanted my results to look like, what I was going for. I knew my goal was to pass and blend in as much as possible. I wanted to be able to just walk the beach and people wouldn't even give me a second glance because I'd look like an everyday fat guy, you know what I mean? Like I just packed on 340s, you know what I mean? That's what I wanted. I know it sounds silly. People will ask me you actually wanted moves? Yes, I did, because guys my size have them, and that was my goal, to just blend in as another guy. So before I got surgery, I'd research men my size, celebrities my size, stuff like that. And they always had fat in their chest, so I decided that's the way to go. I told my surgeon. He already wanted to do that because he's like, you're bigger, you hold weight in your stomach, it'll look more natural. And this was I think 7 years ago it was so long ago. And I'm still so happy with my results. So the first place I went shirtless in a very public setting was at the beach. I had been to a public pool and stuff, but this was my first time being in an area that was very crowded, where hundreds of thousands of people were gonna be. And I was shook. I was scared. A lot of people asked me, were you nervous going shirtless for the first time in public? Yes, I was very nervous. I was very nervous I wouldn't pass, that people would stare at me, that they'd out me, and I was especially worried about safety because I was always with my son. And I was terrified that what if somebody jumps me in front of him, or something happens that's really dangerous. I was terrified. And so I was with my mom and my son at that point when we were going to the beach, and we made a plan that they were going to go off and I was going to go shirtless for the first time just by myself with nobody around. That way I figured, if somebody has a problem with me, if something starts, at least my kid's not there to witness it, my mom's not there to witness it, at least they're safe. And also I felt like it would give me a good idea if it was safe to go shirtless or not, because this was uncharted territory for me, really. I didn't know what was going to happen. And so, yeah, nobody gave a shit. Nobody fucking gave a shit. We think people care way more than they care. They do not give a shit. So yeah, it was fine. So then I went and got my mom and son. I'm like, nobody cares. And everything was fine. We had a great time at the beach. Everybody was awesome. There was only one person that looked at me for a more extended period of time, and it's funny because it wasn't because I was trans, or I'm 99.9% sure it wasn't, because when we were in the water, I'm like this. I'm hanging all out. I don't give a shit. To me, this, I don't care. Moves to me are I'm so glad that I have the body I do. I know a lot of cis men would not be happy with it, but your flaw is what my goal was. So I was so happy, and I'm still a little nervous, but I'm so relieved that nobody cares. And this guy, I noticed this guy was kind of looking at me, not in a mean way or anything like that, but he was about my size. That's what really struck me. He was the same size as me. He had very similar body composition to me because, a lot of men hold weight in their stomachs and, have chests if they're my size. So he was built just like me. But he was in a shirt in the water, swimming in a shirt, which, hey, no hate. I used to always swim in a shirt, especially I'm Irish. I burn easy. But I really feel like he was looking at me. I got a sense that he was like, oh my God, that dude's just hanging it all out and he's my size. And I feel like, he was maybe a little insecure or whatever, and I really feel like that's why he was looking at me, because we were just built so similarly, and I was just like, you know what I mean? That was the only person who even gave me a second glance, and it was a really freeing experience. But, that day I definitely, I grew my beard out. I made sure I darkened it so that I'd pass a little bit more. Actually, just recently, 7 years after I had top surgery, I went to a public pool for the first time, shirtless, without, my beard and all that crap, and, filling my beard in. And that was fine, too. Nobody gave a shit. Nobody gave a shit. So I literally, both occasions, I was so shook. I was so nervous. I was so scared how people would perceive me, and they just perceived me exactly how I wanted, as just another fat dude. So, life is rocking.